Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our Global TV Deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rob and cheat, and not first and four. Make up what I seen to. Make a man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make a man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite part: if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the them can sell out Rasta and sell it out. I sell out Babylon. Big man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Big man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead can sell out Rasta and sell out. I sell out Babylon. Yes, stop on the Friday. You might throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! You might throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what's a plan? Big man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rasta man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
Good evening and welcome to Far From Reality. If you listen to the Prime Minister and you see the images on the ground or the cries of the people on the ground or the reporting rather from the people on the ground, then you would know that our Prime Minister is so far flung from reality. No idea of what we're going through down here. He is so high up there. Ursula came to the press conference today, and Ursula was responding, I'm sure, to criticism if you know how Aunt Ursula literally reacts and behaves, and how thin Auntie Ursula's skin is. I will take you to the foot of the cross tonight. I won't leave you there, though. I will stay there with you, because I am now convinced that the Prime Minister obia me. Because I went to sleep today just to escape reality for a bit. And when I woke up on YouTube, the Prime Minister was at the special press briefing. What is special about it? Given we are in a disaster, don't ask me. We will all have to listen to the Prime Minister tonight. I cannot tell you, there's a question and answer session that comes after. Dan Jackson Miller and others was there. We will have to listen it together, because I want you to listen tonight how far from reality our Prime Minister is. Literally miles detached. The Prime Minister is completely detached from what is happening in Jamaica. If you heard the things, nobody were there watch press conference, press briefing today. If you heard the thing Andrew Holness said, and I know that response from Andrew Holness is a reaction to the criticism left, right, and center of the dismal and cruel handling of the relief. But we're not going to waste any time tonight. I'm going to let the Prime Minister patch it up for you, because the Prime Minister come out and let me patch it up today. Then if God and nature could strike a whole community, why God can't strike one wicked man? They starve so much people. I kind of struggle in my head with the literal fuckery, if you want to call it that, at times. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Thank you all for joining us, to my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls. Good evening. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. I hope and I trust that one day our people will wake up. And I continuously say, when some of our people wake up, they're going to be so frightened. We will have to prepare to hold them and console them and say, oh, no, it's okay. You have just entered reality. Don't run off. Don't scream. Don't holler. It's okay over here. It's what it normally is. Welcome to reality. Because some of us are so asleep. Some of us are so asleep that the cruelty coming from this government is flying over our head. Today, press briefing was a very high end, out of our reach. The defense, the private sector, the Prime Minister, so much influential tudgers were there. I'm concerned, though, by the Prime Minister utterance. Even though I don't hear Christopher talk about any dead body or any dead animal, that's just not a concern. Didn't hear any death toll from the Minister of Health either. Oh no, my peeps, Wagwan, how was your day? Boy, you know I go cost me. But you don't have to help me tonight. Me one can't listen to him. Me one can't listen. Globalists wanna listen here, you know, call crowd, cause little when the news, so rotten, you have to share it with the entire village. Hmm? One and two people can hear this here news here. So wanna share the live. So if anybody never da press briefing today, they can hear from Auntie Ursula mouth. Jesus Christ, the man flattered today. He flattered. Hmm? We want to hear everybody say, Aunt Ursula said it, not me. Hmm? Me ungo mind people business. Me ungo mind people business. Call crowd me could listen to Auntie Ursula because to say Auntie Ursula came out today. Hmm? Auntie Ursula came out. Hey, somebody fuck with them when Auntie Ursula talk about, you know. Una not gonna know what I'm talking. Hmm? You would wonder if is this the Haiti Prime Minister speaking? I mean, we know the argument now, Prime Minister, when it comes to Jamaica and Haiti, who gets to the bottom of the hill first? Hmm? We are both rubbing shoulders with each other. The question is, who really gets to the bottom of the hill first? With a prime minister continuously striking the match, even when the prime minister sees petrol spill all over the floor. Hmm? The prime minister still a walk and try matches in a Jamaica. Have you heard about St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland people, sir? I beg you, please, put away the match. Hmm? Okay, let's listen to Auntie Ursula.
Hurricane Melissa. So in the initial phases of the relief phase.
Hold on. Let's just answer.
To the Most Honorable Andrew Holness.
Thank you, Minister. Good morning, Jamaica. We are officially out of the preparation phase. We have done well in the preparation phase. But
did you hear that? Did you hear what the Prime Minister said? We are out of the preparation phase. We have done well in the preparation phase. I'm not going to disturb it much. I'm just going to make it flat again. So,
even the best laid plans would be laid to waste in a Category 5 hurricane. It's as if you have gotten a knockout blow and you are trying to reconstitute, get yourself up off the mat to say, what do I do next? And that was kind of like the impact of Hurricane Melissa. So in the initial phases of the relief phase, it was almost as if it were a scramble. What is the relief phase? The relief phase is that period of time when the authorities of the government, the civil society.
Well, listen good, you know. Come in, I want nobody walk away from here tonight and go call my name, say Global TV, say. So maybe gonna listen out of your ears and come to your own conclusion. Did you hear fuckery or did you hear something that you can chew on?
The private sector and others seek to mobilize relief for those who are most impacted. What is that kind of relief we're talking about? Food, water, medicine, clothing, emergency shelter, and services, medical services, search and rescue, or in most cases now, search and recovery of bodies. Other services as well, psychological and emotional, the mental health services. And
hey, the bomb you're wicked, you know. Jamaica people, I'm going to rewind Andrew, because I don't never hear what Andrew just said a while. I'm more on one of him. One somebody care wicked, so. Me Me confirm tonight. Say more on one. Andrew Holness. One not on bad, so. Please, globalists. I want to listen to Andrew Holness. You get up in front of that something, yeah, you know, because I don't know if me can hold my peace. Because the Lord now come fight this a battle for we now. This a battle of we. Is a matter of can I hold my peace? When you hear the Prime Minister talk about the amount of support what they give, when you listen, so Anthony favor one of them boy then. Never mind. Hey, Jesus. Whoa, keep me near the cross, dear God, because you know, there is something you have to have somewhere to lean up on, you know. You have to have somewhere to lean up on. Talk, yes, sir.
Talk to the Most Honorable Andrew Holness.
Thank you, Minister. Good morning, Jamaica. We are officially out of the preparation phase. We have done well in the preparation phase. But even the best laid plans would be laid to waste in a Category 5 hurricane. It's as if you have gotten a knockout blow and you're trying to reconstitute, get yourself up off the mat to say, what do I do next? And that was kind of like the impact of Hurricane Melissa. So in the initial phases of the relief phase, it was almost as if it were a scramble. What is the relief phase? The relief phase is that period of time when the authorities of the government, the civil society, private sector, and others seek to mobilize relief for those who are most impacted. What is that kind of relief we're talking about? Food, water, medicine, clothing, emergency shelter, and services, medical services, search and rescue, or in most cases now, search and recovery of bodies. Other services as well, psychological and emotional, the mental health services. And in our case, the desperate effort to restore some form of connectivity. Because the loss of connection has also been significant, which adds to the emotional and mental health crisis that we face. Persons trying to get in touch with loved ones, persons feeling disconnected who have, for almost all their lives, relied upon being able to pick up the phone and call a loved one. So in the initial few days, there was a scramble. And that scramble essentially was, my hand is up, I need help. And the system trying to respond to the loudest voices or the most frantic wave of hands. As of today, we are out of that phase.
Hey!
Now, a systematic response will take over in the relief effort. And you would see that the government has made certain actions to ensure that there is a systematic response. Let me say it in another way. I hear the cry of every baby that is now hungry in a community that is not yet.
Whoa! What a kiss me Rasta tonight. Wholeness start hear voices again. Because you know when the Prime Minister is hearing voices, he normally hear baby cries, whether it is a dead baby or a hungry baby. When this Prime Minister start to hear voices, it's normally the voices of babies.
Get reached. It goes to bed with me. And I have to think of it in this way.
Oh,
do I try myself to jump on a helicopter with a package to reach the baby that is crying? Or do I try to develop a system to get more helicopters in?
Is it me or the Prime Minister doesn't realize that he's speaking bullshit? Is it only me that it comes across as bullshit? Or the Prime Minister is so I don't know what to call it. But he doesn't seem to understand that he's speaking literal bullshit. Go and talk, you idiot. Because idiot mouth cut grass way. Is one thing about idiot people mouth. It not only cut grass way. Jesus have mercy tonight. Boy, we're born for meat. You think slavery? You think a slavery one we're born for go to? We're born for go to Andrew Holness as well.
To get more packages put together, to get more supplies in, to get more support to be able to reach those babies that are crying. While at the same time saying to Keith and Darrell and Minister Tufton, get out there in the scramble. And so that is what you have been seeing. People individually going out there trying to relieve the human suffering. But that is not a sustainable response. The sustainable response is what you would see the government doing now. One, we have to streamline ODPEM, both as the Office of Disaster Preparedness, which that function was done, that phase is over, and now we are in the phase of the emergency management, which is the relief. Now, let's just be clear. The government can't stand up ODPEM with its own parallel structure of having all the people that would be necessary to pack the relief items, to load the trucks,
and the fucking one apple,
to move the trucks to where they have to be stored,
and one apple,
to clear the roads, all those little minor functions that make the big service works, and keep them and pay them throughout the year for every year, even when there is no disaster. Where that capability exists is in the JDF. It is a multifunctional.
Here you know, the fuckery is heightened. Yeah, so the easy jerk, go on. The fuckery I go turn up, you know. Listen to the Prime Minister turn up the. You never know, say fuckery have a volume. Didn't you know that bullshit? Oh, Jesus, bullshit have a volume. The Prime Minister is going to turn up the volume of bullshit now. Listen well.
Capability. And so we have to, and at this point, I do commend the JDF and of course the JCF as well. The JDF is the repository of the logistics and engineering capabilities of the government.
Listen well.
And in hindsight, as I reflect on how we have executed policy, not many Jamaicans would know this, but in the last 10 years of my administration, we have invested heavily in the JDF. In fact, we have doubled the size of the JDF, both in terms of men and women, material, equipment, and technology. We made an investment a few years ago in expanding our fleet of helicopters, expanding our offshore patrol vessels, expanding our radars, expanding our communications, increasing the number of Bushmasters, and expanding the number of units that are in the JDF. Today, it is paying off. The logistics.
Whoa! Lord Jesus, did you hear all of the shine dandies that the Prime Minister spoke about? All the investment, the expansion of the helicopter fleet and the Coast Guard fleet and the DCR fleet and the That Day fleet, and it is all paying off now. The Prime Minister said the investment in the JDF is paying off. The same JDF that we are not seeing doing search and the same JDF will make dead body in a Black River after the Prime Minister go the TV vlogger go fight. Prime Minister say it is paying off. Lord Jesus. When this year dragon ya done with my people. When this year dragon ya. Only if people will listen to this man. And only if people would listen to us. Then we'd have still send the hurricane, because the deal did already sign. But maybe, just maybe, the wicked PNP them would handle the crisis better. All of them is against we. Just look how they finance Dandy in a parliament.
Capability of the JDF is certainly best in class in the region. And that is what is giving us now the horsepower to be able to deal with a Category 5 level disaster. So the JDF gives the legs and arms to the management functions of the emergency. So it makes sense that there is seamless coordination.
And he's shame, you know. He knows the lie tell and he's shame. But because he's forced to do this fuckery to us, he have to come out and justify them. Me telling us that bullshit have volume. Me telling us only can turn up the volume to bullshit. Just check Andrew Holness.
Between the JDF and ODPEM. And therefore, you would recognize the movement of ODPEM to OPM, where the JDF is already under the portfolio of the Office of the Prime Minister. The administration of the JDF as well, which was formerly under National Security, will also move.
What is not under the Office of the Prime Minister? Prime Minister, tell us. What is not under the Office of the Prime Minister? Isn't the whole country run from the Office of the Prime Minister?
To the Office of the Prime Minister. And we have appointed someone to now head the JDF, the ODPEM, seconded from the JDF. So we expect that there will be seamless operations. Why is this so? In the relief phase, there may be a sense that we will do this for a few weeks. I want to just bring everybody's mind to the reality that this will be a few months operation. And that the country needs to understand this. We have relief entities here. Some of them are capable of carrying out long-term relief. But most of them are not capable to carry out long-term relief and will take up stumps and leave the theater of operations after a few weeks. So the government has to have that base capability to be able to sustain the relief effort for a long period of time. And that is what I have been working on to ensure that your government has that staying capability to bring relief.
What the Prime Minister is literally, what I'm understanding from the Prime Minister here is literally that we not using a lot of our resources now because there are charities and independent people out there doing a lot. So we're holding back our resources for when these people resources dry up. Is that what you're saying, Prime Minister? Because that is the understanding I'm getting.
To 6 parishes and other divisions and constituencies in other parishes that are impacted. We don't have the exact number of persons who are impacted, but we can estimate that it would be somewhere in the region of about 600,000 persons. Now think of it. We have never had a sustained operational capability to bring constant relief effort to 600,000 persons and what that requires. So the planning that has to go into that.
Prime Minister, you can't just, this is one of the problems, and this is why you could have take up $10,000 because I feel I do the assessment, you know. I feel I on camera up in the ear do the damage assessment.
But the logistics and management take some time. In our case, only a few days before we can stand it up so that we can reach every crying baby who is hungry. So Commander Gale has been tasked. The CDS already knows what her task is. They will be working together seamlessly under the administrative leadership of the Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, former Chief of Defense Staff, Rocky Mead. That, however, needs to be augmented by best-in-class international support, and you can't get better than the United Nations. Last week, Sunday, I had a call with the UN Secretary General. The UN Secretary General is a friend of Jamaica. He has visited me a few.
Wanna listen careful. Wanna listen careful. The United Nations Secretary General, that of course he did visit you, Andrew Holness, but you were all just signing off and rounding us up at the time. It's a signing off and rounding up. You talk yourself for your mouth. For people go say me tell lie on you. Next thing you hear me get in trouble for telling lie on 1 p.m.
Times we're always working closer together on climate change, on financing for development, and he does have a special place in his heart for Jamaica. And I said to him, what he needed was the best-in-class logistics capabilities. And within a few days, in fact, yesterday I had a meeting with the Deputy Secretary General in charge of these kinds of operations from UN Ops, and they are mobilizing a full team that will come and support the logistics and management efforts of ODPEM. So yes, we have capabilities, but as I have said, no matter what capability you thought you had, when you are hit by a Category 5 storm, right, you must get even greater and better capabilities. And so UN Ops is here. I know they have had several meetings with private sector, I believe, civil society, and they will be embedded in ODPEM. And the idea is, after this experience, the technical know-how and capabilities will be transferred to ODPEM. So we are expecting that after this, ODPEM will be even stronger in terms of its ability to manage large-scale disasters. At that point, I would segue into saying that
I'm wondering, Jody, does the right of a child not apply in a disaster zone? And is the right of a child not cared for outside of what we call parental abuse or neglect? I don't know, because we have not heard anything from the Child Protection Agency, and so much children across the country are homeless and hungry. Not a word, though. Not a single word.
International support for Jamaica's relief and recovery effort is significant. I don't want to call everybody's name now. I leave the Minister of Foreign Affairs to give a comprehensive review of all the countries that have reached out to us. And I've had direct conversations with several world leaders about how they can help. The relief effort is obviously being supported, but the conversations have moved past the relief stage now, where we're talking about recovery, and that's where I am engaging several world leaders as to how they can play a role in the recovery from the disaster. You would have heard me say in the presentation to Parliament that the damage could be anywhere from 6 to 7 billion US dollars. That is a conservative estimate. I have seen one economist saying something much more. I don't want to be alarmist.
Sterling, obviously, Sonia, he would know, because any relief workers coming into the country, they have a diplomatic clearance, as well as they do make contact with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs before they come, so the government knows.
But we're going through the process of trying to assess the damage. But it is one thing to lose the physical assets of production, which, by the way, if you were to compare the disaster of COVID to this disaster, we didn't lose any productive asset. In this one, we have lost productive assets. We have lost farms. We have lost businesses. We have lost schools. And we have to go and rebuild them. You have to put on top of that what it is going to cost to sustain the relief phase. What it's going to cost us for debris management. Major part of the operations. What it is going to cost us to sustain the food packages. There's a notion that we're getting a lot of aid and that will carry you through. That will carry you for a couple of weeks, if so many. We are going to have to put the budgetary allocation to carry the relief effort, and that is going to be significant. Then there is the cleanup operation, which is a quite separate operation from debris management. Because once you move away the debris that is the initial debris from the storm, then now you have to go and figure out to clear roads, to move all the debris of houses that have been blown down, and everybody will soon start putting their old beds and couches and old fridge and everything you're going to see start to pile up. So which is why we have indicated that we will have a national cleanup week. It might very well stretch into months because the level of debris is significant. And how that is going to be disposed of and the cost of that is something we will have to address. And then we have to figure out now the parallel systems to get people back into school, to get hospitals up and running, to get businesses running. All of those come with a cost that we will have to foot. So in addition to losing your productive capacity, you now have to take on expenditure that you did not budget for. So the $6 to $7 or $8 billion, that's just what we have lost. What we have to spend additionally, we are in that process now of totaling it up to see what it comes. Then the recovery phase, all of that. So I want Jamaicans to understand the magnitude of the problem. Why am I saying this? How you feel will largely guide how you act. And there are a lot of people out there who are deliberately creating misinformation.
Fuck off.
And my job is to give you the correct information. If you choose not to listen to it, that's your business. But at least the correct information must be out there. I've seen someone say, Prime Minister don't like criticism. Nonsense. Not every opinion makes sense. I am not one who fears criticism, but there are people who fear me when I respond to them. Be assured that I will respond to any nonsense that is put out, not to be distracted, the critical ones. Because managing information is also an important part of the disaster management. If you allow people to cast your nation into despair and grief, to smother hope, to ignore the heroic efforts that people are making, and to just focus on the negative, then we'll have a negative outlook in a time when we need people to be positive in their outlook about our recovery. So I ask all Jamaicans of good mind and goodwill to stand up to those who are seeking to become popular on negativity. Outside of that, there has to be a critical focus on the re-establishment of normalcy. Now, even though we have broken up the emergency management into phases, it doesn't mean that everything happens sequentially. that you have to come out of the planning phase before you enter the relief phase, before you go into recovery. And no, what we're trying to do is do everything almost simultaneously. So even though we are in the relief phase, we are already planning the recovery phase. And a part of that is to restore normalcy. We want normalcy in electricity, normalcy in telecommunications, get the roads back up and running. That's, one indication of normalcy. But an important part of normalcy is to get commerce up and running. Now, as I toured through Jamaica, and I intend to go and visit some more of the areas that are hit, but I had to break that to make sure that the organization and strategy and policy is effective.
I'm replaying today's press
What is
conference
clear
because I want
is that
to hear
local commerce has been badly
that was spewed today.
The local shops are closed. The local pharmacies are closed. Markets are closed. We need to get those stood up. The private sector has a role to play in that, and I see where they have started. Getting the gas stations open, ensuring that the large distributors are open, the large supermarkets and wholesales are open, especially in the urban areas. I like that. But I also want the small shop in Adelphi or in Spring Mount or wherever else, that those shops reopen. Now, they can't reopen for one main reason. They don't have electricity. That's one. And the second is that supplies can't get to them. The distributive trade, which, by the way, is an incredible logistics operation. They supply thousands of shops every day with trucks going all over Jamaica. That has been hit. And they can't call to place orders, and some of them can't access cash. So I've asked the Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce to develop a plan to support the small shops in communities right across Jamaica to get them up and running. One of the first things that we have done is we have identified some generators, and we're going to make those generators available we're going to start with 50 in the most impacted and remote communities. We will loan them the generators. But of course, there will be some
Jankro. Remember, say Spain make we know say them send generator and solar panel, And you the dog shit. Decides they are gonna loan it to the people them where Spain send it for help. Like seriously? Loan. I wonder if Jamaica people up in there and look and listen what are going on. Look how Andrew Holness and Tufton enrich themselves out of COVID. That Tufton could have taken $80 million spent on one woman. Here we have it all over again. Everything to do with this galang in the Prime Minister just draw it in an office. You soon hear say the Ministry of Labour and Social Security is operating from the office of the PM. Loan. The Prime Minister is gonna loan generator will come to give free to the people them. We don't send to it in Westmoreland where they knock way off of the grid. The Prime Minister says telling us say he might go lend it to Uno till when JPS fix up or have to turn it back in a good condition, mind you.
Requirements for compliance issues and to ensure that they are established operations that we can enter into cooperation with. So, of course, we would have to verify that they are a legitimate operation. So we would ask the JPs, the police, and other established persons in the area to vouch for their credibility. And we're going to ask the Jamaica Business Development Corporation to lead that, along with the DBJ. We're going to also ask them if they would be willing to partner with the government to give us storage capacity. Some of them may have a strong room. They may have a room or two where we can store things. That would multiply the number of areas that we have from which we can stage.
Pussy. Pardon me, the globalist, I can't do it any other way. Pussy. Your teeth enough out of a pocket. So for you, craw. Go in your craw and pull out something and build warehouse around the country. Just like how you and your wife thief the country's money and go around the country, go to property development, everyone can go drunk. Why we would with 2 or 3 rooms to go to a space for storage when we don't have how much a multi-million-dollar development? Dog shit. Drunk. Talk dog shit, talk.
Operations.
Because
right now,
your mouth will get you in a trouble.
CDS tells me that they have 22 staging areas that they have established right across Jamaica, which will be a hub and spoke operation. So they will move from big warehouses to these small hubs, and then from these small hubs to smaller areas of distribution. That might not be enough. Eventually, we will have to move from this operation of us moving items. So we move from main warehouse to these spoke and hub operations, and then we distribute. The physical distribution of the relief is an expensive operation, and it poses some risk to us as well. I've seen videos circulating where I've seen
the excuse of this asshole. Everything that this government ought to do, or everything that this government ought to take responsible for, the Prime Minister or Dana Dixon will slip some form of excuse in.
Jamaica Defence Force truck and people are there waving, and it wasn't too bad. But even in a disaster, we must maintain our dignity.
Pussy go suck your mama. Go suck your nasty mama. When I see about hungry pussy, hey, Jankro, when I see about blood clot hungry, don't test me faith tonight. Globalist, me never listen this far. This is a part you new to me, because I never listen to him this far today. Don't fuck yourselves, though.
Even in a disaster, we must never give the view that there is lawlessness. And even if we are hungry and there is suffering, we must maintain our dignity. And the way in which the relief operation is done must be done in a way that protects the dignity of the people. So
that's why Tufton come with the one bumbleclad patty and the one apple and the little bottle of water. No, you get it now. No, globalists, you don't get it. You don't get why Tufton come with the one patty, the one apple, and the one bottle of water. Because the Prime Minister says, even when hunger and thirst are ring with tripe, we must have with dignity. Even if you're stretching out your hand, don't shout too loud. Just say, my hands are over here. Let me reverse this, post it. I don't know here say that's what you mean.
That has been hit. And they can't call to place orders. And some of them can't access cash. So I've asked the Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce to develop a plan to support the small shops.
We're sure that man you're not crab. A hungry crab full of shit the way how Andrew Holness full of shit. We're not sure you're not crab in me.
In communities right across Jamaica to get them up and running. One of the first things that we have done is we have identified some generators, and we're going to make those generators available we're going to start with 50 in the most impacted and remote communities. We will loan them the generators. But of course, there will be some requirements for compliance issues and to ensure that they are established operations that we can enter into cooperation with. So of course, we would have to verify that they are a legitimate operation. So we would ask the JPs, the police, and other established persons in the area to vouch for their credibility. And we're going to ask the Jamaica Business Development Corporation to lead that, along with the DBJ. We're going to also ask them if they would be willing to partner with the government to give us storage capacity. Some of them may have a strong room. They may have a room or two where we can store things. That would multiply the number of areas that we have from which we can stage operations. Because right now, CDS tells me that they have 22 staging areas that they have established right across Jamaica, which will be a hub and spoke operation. So they will move from big warehouses to these small hubs, and then from these small hubs to smaller areas of distribution. That might not be enough. Eventually, we will have to move from this operation of us moving items. So we move from main warehouse to these spoke and hub operations, and then we distribute. The physical distribution.
Jody, by the time they same thing they get to the people, them pile, the amount of people arm and quarter they have to go under before they get to the people. When they get to the people, them pile.
Of the relief is an expensive operation, and it poses some risk to us as well. I've seen videos circulating where I've seen a Jamaica Defence Force truck and people are there waving, and it wasn't too bad. But even in a disaster, we must maintain our dignity. Even in a disaster, we must never give the view that there is lawlessness, and even if we are hungry and there is suffering, we must maintain our dignity.
This is painful, you know.
And the way in which the relief operation is done must be done in a way that protects the dignity of the people. So a part of what we have tasked ODPEM, JDF, and the Ministry of Labour and Social Security is to ensure that there is this standardized process that protects the dignity of the people that we're giving aid. But as I was saying, we can't carry this on forever or for too long. At some point, we will transition to a voucher or a coupon system where instead of carrying the bag of relief items, you will get something that is equivalent to cash, and you can go to your nearest shop in your area where we will stock and supply them, and you get your items. But to do that, we have to stand up those shops. We have to provision them, give them electricity, give them internet connection. And so we're working on that plan. And in the coming weeks, you will start to see that plan come to fruition, so that for the foreseeable future of the next few months, there is an effective and robust system to deliver relief as we pivot to the recovery stage. I want to thank the members of the media who are here, who have been covering the disaster, who have been faithfully attending these press briefings, and the media who has carried the press briefing, because that's very important for the informationalization of the citizen. And so I want to thank the journalists who are here, and the media, which is privately held, and they are sacrificing their advertising time for this, and I want to thank them for doing that. So, in summary, there's no question that the initial relief phase started off a bit slowly, But I did some research this morning looking at the initial relief efforts for COVID, not for COVID. COVID was quickly, but for Katrina, for other major storms in the region, and Jamaica has done well. I mean, in 5.
The Prime Minister keep talking about COVID relief from yesterday, and I'm struggling. I don't know if any of you are struggling, but I'm struggling because I don't know what is that about. I didn't hear of. All I knew, we were told to stay in your yard. I wonder if that is what the Prime Minister is talking about. A relief from off of the road. But the Prime Minister keeps saying it from yesterday. COVID relief. Does anyone know what he's talking about? That kind of is strange to me. Really strange.
5 to 6 days, what we have stood up is incredible. This is not to say that there isn't human suffering. But please don't mistake me. But if you compare to Puerto Rico, to Antigua, to Dominica, and to the United States, which has had several major, that we have done is incredible. So as of today, the communities that we have not reached yet, the persons who are sending me messages to say, hey, I haven't gotten, the system will now respond and will respond quickly to get into those communities. So at the time of my next update, I should be able to say of the how many ever number of communities affected, this is the percentage that we reach. The target now is to get at least initial welfare and humanitarian response to every single Jamaican who has not yet gotten attention. Thank you for your attention, ladies and gentlemen.
There will be questions.
Thank you, Prime Minister. And I think there was just one thing I needed to give. I know when Minister Tufton was speaking, he had given an email address. Let me give you the email address to use. It's health-hurricane-response@moh.gov.jm. So that's health-hurricane-response@moh.gov.jm. Now we're going to be opening up for some questions. I should note that our ministers of state are here. They're in the room too. And I see Minister Mackenzie, Minister Morgan. I'm trying to go around. There are a lot of people in the room. I'm just acknowledging all of you. And we have cabinet. So let's go quickly to the questions. Can we have everybody just do one question, please?
Yes,
all right. Mike.
Dion Jacksmiller, TVJ. The changes that were announced to ODPIM seem designed to allow ODPIM to do exactly what it was set up to do, which is lead effectively from the front. But what we've seen over the years is an organization that seems to have been weakened, no permanent head appointed for an extended period of time, and ODPIM publicly sidelined during periods of disaster. So aren't the changes, even taking into account the excellent capabilities of the JDF, haven't these changes been made necessary because the office has been so weakened?
Okay, PM is going to answer. I was going to answer too.
Dana, shut the fuck up.
ODPIM over many years developed a sterling reputation for disaster, preparedness and emergency management, and several of the heads of ODPIM have gone on to play leading roles in the Caribbean. There is no denying that over time, that capability and prominence was not as it was in previous times. There are several factors that contribute to that. One of them would be the level at which the executive leadership was remunerated. In other words, for a job such as what is the task of ODPIM, the salaries did not keep pace because just from a competitive point of view, if you want the best people, you have to pay well, and the best people are being competed for with other entities all over the place. So Jamaicans who have the capabilities are being pulled all over. And so even now as we speak, ODPIM is still in this process of the compensation review. And that in a sense, is probably the main issue.
Okay,
We have
Pamela,
had
no
several
problem.
disasters before, and you know, so if you were to say, how would you judge ADPEM in preparation, in standing up the preparation for disasters? I think you would say that the preparation for disasters went well. So even with not having necessarily the strongest executive leadership, we were still able to mount a credible preparation. During COVID, which was a kind of different disaster than what ADPEM would have been used to, ADPEM did not necessarily feature so much in the preparations, but they did come in and work very well in the emergency management, and not much credit has been given to ADPEM in ensuring that our BPO sector and some other business and commercial operations were able to operate. They set standards, they went in and inspected, they gave advice, they gave directions as to how businesses should be structured. That is not as forward-facing and recognized, but they did an extremely good job during that period of time. Granted, in COVID, it would have been the Ministry of Health that would have taken over most, for good reason, of the emergency management. In the other storms that we have had, the impact clearly is of no magnitude like this. The last one that we had, which was Beryl, exposed some weaknesses. And the government, therefore, took the actions of, one, doing a review. And persons were wondering, why am I doing a review? Everything you go do review. Some comments that I have seen. Yes, very important, because as your question would say, you know, does ADPEM have the capability to respond to a disaster like this? And I saw some weaknesses. I saw some gaps. I saw some spaces that need to be filled. But I am not the technical expert. So I asked someone who is an expert in this field, former Chief of Defense Staff, now Ambassador, to lead a team to review not just ADPEM, but the entire emergency response management of the government. And that report was very useful to us in what we need to do to make ADPEM.
Prime Minister, Crab J, say your speech empty and full of nothing, not a thing in it. Empty.
The emergency management entity that can respond to a Category 5. ADPEM has never responded to a Category 5 disaster. And that's an important point to make. This is not a normal hurricane. So you can't judge the response of the government by virtue of, what it has done in the past. This is a new level of disaster. And we need to empower, structure, support, provide the resources, and encourage and acknowledge the efforts of the persons who are now on the front line of Jamaica's response to the disaster. Thank you for the question.
All right, we have, I think it's coming down the line here. Oh, okay, all righty, on this side.
Thank you. Karen Madden, the Jamaica Gleaner. I do not see the Minister of National Security. Perhaps you have been briefed, or perhaps the Prime Minister.
But not true to backside. I haven't heard or seen anything of him since the galanging on. Let us hear what the question is.
My question has to do with security in the shelters. We are getting reports that women have been sexually assaulted. I don't know if you have confirmed those reports, and if so, the steps you are taking to prevent this from happening.
All right. PM?
Thank you, Ms. Madden, for that question. No report has come to me. Yeah, we haven't received, I say Minister Mackenzie, who has some oversight of the shelters. We haven't gotten that report. I thank you for bringing it to our attention. If such a thing has actually happened, we will investigate. I'll ask you to give Minister Mackenzie the details that you have so we can investigate.
I don't know that it has, Prime Minister.
Oh, okay.
But we have received reports.
Yes, and PM.
So you would have received a report that the number of shelters are reducing daily. those that exist, so that you have raised it, we're going to cabinet in a few minutes. I will raise it in the cabinet with Minister Chang, and we will ensure that there is adequate coverage for them. I just make this appeal to every Jamaican. Yes, it's a difficult time. Yes, you know, there is disaster all around. But now is not the time to take advantage of persons weaker than yourself. Now is the time to help and support and to show that you are a real man. Not by holding up people at gunpoint and taking away the relief that they are bringing.
Prime Minister, you hold us up with 2 fucking fingers, you asshole. I mean, at least the man we're holding up with gun jive fearing away. You hold us up with 2 fingers, 2 total finger, and that you use and stick way up and enrich yourself. Prime Minister, you wish I did more of you because you want to rich one and one of you in the way how you rich yourself out of COVID. You wicked, thieving, evil man. Look at what you do to Jamaica people. The Prime Minister come out and tell us how you do well. The 3 basics have not been met after a national disaster. Food, water, and shelter. And this drunk crow, this wingless drunk crow come out here and come tell we say him do good. This dog shit come out here come tell we say the investment in a JDF pay off when dead body up on the street of Black River while the Prime Minister I walk on tour Black River with the mayor of Black River, the superintendent of Black River, the Minister of Health, former MP for Southwest St. Elizabeth, and the Minister of Agriculture, current MP for Southwest St. Elizabeth, while dead body lie on the street of Black River. Chris Crofton was at the press conference today. Chris Crofton spoke nothing about dead body, cow, dog, goat, hog, or anyone away with dead and I think up down at St. Elizabeth there. Not a word. Not a word.
Try helping them through the obstacles to deliver the relief. That is how you're going to get respect today. There is no respect that you're going to get from brandishing your gun. And let it be clear, the police have not let up on their operations.
Thank you. And PM, if I can just note, that issue was brought to my attention and there was a specific shelter that was raised and I had shared it with the Commissioner of Police for them to
You're here. You're here. It was brought to Dana's attention and Dana turned it over to the Commissioner of Police. Big pussy Kevin. Draw your head from under your mother, Kevin. Have you done anything about it? Have you done anything about it? I wonder if Jamaica people are watching the theater that is being played out on us at the moment. I wonder if everybody realizes that Jamaica is on a stage at the moment. The actors, though, are very dismal in their performance. But I hope you do know your country is the stage. As to the role that you want to play into this act, me have to play the rebel roles in role. I'm not a submissive person, far from that. Not the time for them foolishness. But always affair prog and rebel roles. Because when me sit down and watch things or listen to things that don't make sense, it pisses me off and I have to thought, cuss or carry on or ask question or think. But me can't just sit down just so with fuckery and unfold round me and smile to it and give grace to it because it is coming from on high. Me never learn them fuckery there when I grow up.
investigate. All right, we're on this side now.
Thank you so much. Kalisha Williams, Television Jamaica. This question is for Mr. Vaz. As co-chair of the Recovery Committee, is there a schedule for the distribution of the aid that can be published? I know the Prime Minister spoke to the systematic changes that will take place now in terms of the distribution of aid. TVJ News observed yesterday in Landilo, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Westmoreland, where people were throwing.
It's not Landalo, it's Landilo. Landilo.
Aid in bulk on the ground. Can you say what's the protocol surrounding this? What changes will be made going forward? And in regards to the 27 communities marooned, what's the plan to address that in terms of how soon will these people get aid? How soon will you access the communities? And finally, in regards to school, can I get a status report on the schools, the number of schools damaged, and what's the plan for students doing PEP, CXC? What's the plan for students in those areas who cannot go to school right now, both online or in person? Thank you.
All right, thank you for your four-part one question.
All right, the part that's related to me, I'm going to answer, and then I'm going to beg your indulgence for me to leave. I have to go and prepare for cabinet. And just to say that at cabinet today, we're going to be discussing the allocation of expenditures. Minister Tufton is quick off the bat. He has brought a quite hefty bill.
I have mine too.
I hear the Minister of Education under her breath saying she has a submission to make, and the Minister of Local Government. So I'm going to be scratching my head now to see how we can carve up that budget to give effect to the relief response. So you would have heard me say the dignity of the recipients of aid must be maintained. And in fact, yesterday we had an extensive discussion with ODPEM, and they will bring in the Ministry of Labour and Social Security to
I go calm my bed. I'm sorry if the board uno globalists, but here we have to record history for ourselves. We don't want to walk and talk, so we just sit on PBC, JRJIS, and by the time we go back to them, I take it down. We want to record it on global TV with self, because you know, go even beef up the argument more further on of how well he've taken Jamaica through the worst that he delivered to Jamaica. I mean, overnight we have been reduced. Overnight we have become homeless. Overnight, Prime Minister, we have become beggars. Overnight, Prime Minister, we have become wanderers without any support from government. I want to take the time tonight to thank all of those private people, charities, artists, actors, entertainers, vloggers, TikTokers, YouTubers, social media influencers. You have stood in line for Jamaica. You have stood in line for our people. You stood up when government stood down. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for all that you are doing to show that we still have humanity. There are people amongst us who still have humanity, unlike those who are muscling up themselves to enrich themselves of the disaster, unlike those who left us to suffer because they want to create a bigger disaster out of this, which is an escalating humanitarian disaster. Thank you all for what you are doing for the people. Because if it was for the government, we don't know what would have happened to our people. We have no confidence in this government. We do not believe or expect that this government will do better because of their wickedness, not necessarily because they're incompetent, purely because they are wicked and evil. But we're still appealing to the evil to do right by the people. It is not coming out of your pocket. The food resources that is coming into the country is not coming out of the government's pocket. The generator, them where you go rent, the shopkeeper, them prime minister, them come figure were free to we in the hardest hit area. Jankro. You know, shame. Everything your thief. All right, we know so you there go thief money. But prime minister, all the generator them and what the Elon Musk thing them name, the Starlink them, what a selfie, your labor right friend them have a selfie 133,000 to people are sent to the and Westman with the blood clot if they get money from them, so they don't blow down everything. We never still blow down everything and still a come. Still a come sell with the freezing thing them were coming at the country. Put the fucking match down. You keep striking that match when so much petrol is on the floor. It's going to blow up in your bloody face at some point. You put that fucking match down is what I would advise your prime minister, because you simply don't understand that your behavior is very provocative. Your behavior, prime minister, is provoking the best of us at the moment. And I'm appealing to you, put the match down. There are still petrol on the floor. You don't want the whole fucking village burned down, you fucking fool. Anyway, people, me I go on my bed, hey, them send a pussy off him, you know. I send him for Madu. Me not think him do just so. Out and nothing. So them send him for Madu. But all me I tell you, put down the matches. Put down the matches. Because if the village start to burn, Prime Minister, amongst dry rubbles, the village may never stop burning. Put the match down. Thank you all for being here with us tonight. Sorry for boring with the old drunkrum, but we must play it and analyze it for ourselves, because we can't just take it out of the source of mouth. So, an empty bag full of hot air. Prime Minister, I have full confidence that the people of Jamaica is going to wake up. This might just be the spark, Prime Minister, that shock our psyche, that put us into a revolutionary mode. Be careful of the game them way I play. It might just turn around for haunt you, Jankro. Anyway, globalists. Sooner morning. All right? This government keep getting me more and more annoyed.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it break a bad feeling to all wicked men. That's a people day. Make him a throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear not hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rub and cheat, and not press the poor. Make God what I seen him. Make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan. Make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. So, my favorite man, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. him and throw a stone, and let's bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Take him and throw a stone, and then bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead can sell out Rasta. I sell a house, I sell out Babylon. Just stop on the front. You might throw a stone and then bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing. You might throw a stone and then bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What the prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one, bring him and throw one stone, and he bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what's a black thing? Him and throw one stone, and he bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.